Hello and welcome to all beautiful souls out there. Hello and welcome to all beautiful souls out there. You're listening to the Restore My Soul podcast with Princess Millens, your favorite grief coach and emotional wellness specialist. In this space, we will help those who struggle with grief and loss and have real conversations about how to overcome it in every area of life. Through our personal stories, practical information, and wisdom from Princess and her special guests. We are here to educate, inspire, and empower you with the strategies you need in your emotional healing journey. We do not offer medical advice, but we believe that we can all learn to heal by creating a mindset to grow past our pain and push toward our purpose. Our goal is to remind you that grief is a journey and you do not have to walk it alone, no matter what the pain or loss is. You can be restored and live fully in your purpose. So let's push through the pain together as we share our stories of resilience, one episode at a time.
Hello and great day, everybody. Welcome to the Restore My Soul podcast for this next episode. I am so excited and so glad that you're here and you're tuned in to listen to what we have to offer today. I am your host, Princess Millens, your favorite grief and emotional wellness specialist. And you know what we do here. We teach and we inspire and we encourage others along their emotional wellness journey. I believe that we all have a story and it should be told. It should be heard around the world. And that's what we do here today. We have such an amazing guest today. I am so excited that we have Julie DeLucca-Collins in the building today. And she is a highly sought after speaker. And she's a business coach and a life strategist and an author. And she is dedicated really to empowering entrepreneurs and individuals to build and grow successful businesses. And I love her passion for helping women and just to establish and expand their brands. And she has become a trusted advisor for many women out there, right? She is the CEO of Go Confidently Services and is certified in Tiny Habits. She's certified in Tiny Habits, where she leverages her expertise to guide individuals toward positive behavioral changes that leads to lasting success. And she has captivated so many audiences around the world with her talk. She's been featured on so many platforms like ABC, NBC, Fox. She is an upcoming and a prominent, I will go ahead and say that, TEDx speaker on the TEDx stage in TEDx MellenStreet that is scheduled very, very soon. She serves as a member of the Governor's Council for Women and Girls in Connecticut, I believe. And Julie influences, it extends into all the airwaves. She hosts a radio show called Confident You, and it's a top-rated global radio network, right? And she's inspiring, like I do, and educating listeners. And when she's not on those airways, she's recording episodes on her own podcast, Casa de Confidence, okay? Where she hosts alongside of her hashtag hot handsome husband, okay? So I want to welcome to the show today, Miss Julie DeLucca-Collins. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for our conversation today.
Princess, I am so honored to be here as a part of your show. Thank you so much for having me. I am, just in awe of the work that you're doing and how you're inspiring individuals and really helping them in their journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that we're going to do that today together. And we're just going to dive into the conversation. I know that you are a business and a life strategist, life coach, and a business coach as well. I see the word confidence in a lot of what you do, right? You're a part of your podcast is they confident, they cost, what is
Casa
it?
the confidence.
That's it. I keep getting tongue twisted with that,
No, you're
right?
fine.
And even in your business, right? Go confidently with Julie in their services, right? And so I see that word confidence. Can you just explain where did that come from? Why are you focused really on that word to empower women in their journey?
Thank you so much for asking. The word confidence is something that has been part of my life for a long time. I consider myself that I'm an outgoing extrovert, firstborn. So, being a little gregarious has always been part of my life. There was a time in which I did lose a little bit of my confidence. And that was really because I lacked belonging. And I felt that I was the odd man out. And this is something that I think happens to many of us when we begin to second guess who we are, our abilities to do something. And as I started to find the evidence that I was capable, that I belong, that I mattered, right? I started to stack up those little wins and evidences. And the more that we show up, whether we feel the confidence or not, the more that we're building the confidence. Confidence is something that helps us build our motivation to show up. When we show up, we learn. And when we learn, we continue to grow in that confidence. My dad shared a quote with me in high school. It's go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. And that is a quote by Henry David Thoreau. And for many years, that was really kind of the North Star for me. When I didn't feel I could do something, when I felt like out of place, climbing the corporate ladder, because I climbed the corporate ladder, and at times, many individuals would say, "Oh, I wish I was as confident as you are." And guess what, princes? I wasn't. I was just showing up and doing the work, and that's how I built the confidence. And now that has become my mission to help other women do the same things.
Wow. And it's so you just reminded me that it's so important that our parents pour into us, right? That
Mhm.
confidence. And you just said something that I didn't even realize. And I think most people don't realize that even if you're extroverted, right? We always categorize and I think stereotype the extroverts as being the ones with always all the confidence and all of that kind of stuff. Well, that might be true, but nobody talks about that struggle even with extroverts. Now, I know me as being an extroverted person, introverted. I think maybe I'm ambivert. I don't know, but I've learned to
Maybe.
have some extroverted tendencies because of what I do and who I serve. But I think I know I'm an introvert at heart. And so if there is nobody to pour into you like your dad did, right?
Mm,
I think our confidence goes somewhere. I
yeah.
think as children, we are even more confident. We're a little bit more bolder because, children, we don't know any better. We don't know
Mhm.
all of those struggles that we pick up along the way in life. And so, what do you think? What happens to our confidence along the way? What happens, even if you grow up in a household where, like you did, where confidence was instilled in you, right? Even the ones that don't grow up in that type of household, right? What happens to our confidence along the way? What do you think?
Thank you so much for asking this. This is an excellent question because I want to normalize for the
Mm,
extroverts, the introverts, and the ones in between. Feeling that you are not confident, that you don't have what it takes is very normal. This is what our brain is programmed to do. We have a little part of our brain called the reticular activator. And
mm,
that reticular activator is the one that is programmed to keep us alive. When our ancestors had these tigers chasing them, the reticular activator would say, danger, danger, now, we don't have tigers in 2023, but we
right.
do have circumstances that throw us out of our comfort zone. And for instance, if you are a beginner at anything, you're not going to feel confident in doing so.
Oh,
For
wow.
instance, I want to highlight women in particular. There's a study, I believe, from, I want to say it's Harvard University, and don't quote me on that, but it's been quoted in several different places. I know that in the book Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, she talks about this, how if there is a job posting and the woman only fits maybe 60 to 80% of it, she won't apply for the job. Whereas a man will apply for the job even if they don't, or rather, if the woman can be at 100% meeting the job requirements, but not feel confident enough to apply. And the
Mm.
thing is, I wanna remind all of us that our brain will say, "Who are you to do that thing? Look at that person. They're so much better than you." We compare in despair, and when we allow that background noise to be the voice that it's running, we're gonna take a step back. We're not gonna put ourselves out there. The biggest thing that we can do is really become aware that that is normal and normalize it for all of us because Princess, when I don't feel confident, and I didn't feel confident for many years,
Yeah.
I would go down the spiral of feeling bad and shameful and inadequate. But the
Yeah.
biggest thing that we can do to stop that pattern is to say, "Oh, I hear you, voice. You're telling me I can't do it, but I'm
Yeah.
going to try," right? Because the trying part is the one that creates the evidence that we're becoming better at it.
Absolutely. That is so good. And you said compare in the despair. That's a t-shirt, Julie. That's a t-shirt.
That's a
But
t-shirt
you're
indeed.
right. You're right. Comparison, I always say comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
So as we compare and we look at people, and this happens every day,
Mhm,
especially in business, right? Even when we see people that are doing similar things than we are doing,
mhm.
um, like, it's like we have this invisible measuring stick
Yeah.
all the time. And I don't know if that's like gender related. I don't know if it's is mostly women or not, but I know for me, there's something that I really had to deal with early on, and still in some ways now dealing with the area of confidence in being able to even walk out there and do things that I've never done before. And you're so
Mm.
right. Sometimes that we haven't done a thing before, and then that voice comes. I love the author, Dr. Carolyn Leaf,
Mm.
and she's brought a lot of things out as far as what you were talking about, the neuroscience behind um, what happens in the brain when certain things happen, when pain happens, when fear happens, and all of this, right? And it was nail on what you said about the thinking behind
Yeah.
what we do, our thinking and our negative thinking and our negative self-talk, right, can be our demise. So I want to ask
Absolutely.
this question, is that what are some things, if we have people out there that are still struggling some way with confidence, because sometimes confidence don't look like, or the lack thereof don't look like the lack of confidence, if that makes sense. Sometimes people put on a good face, but they really are not confident. Can you explain maybe some ways that the lack of confidence shows up in us?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does
You
that
know,
look like?
so the comparison game is really one of the things that first happens.
Mm,
The lack of confidence, right? And for many individuals, and by the way, it's okay if you don't feel confident because I want to reiterate that it's really um we cannot drive our actions by the feelings that we have.
yeah.
And ultimately your actions are driven by your feelings. So let me unpack this. If I have a thought that says, "I am terrible," My business bestie is doing the same thing, and she's signing up all the clients, and she's got all the money, and it's got the perfect life. If and then I start to measure my gifts, my calling, my mission to hers, I am always going to come up short. That
Mm.
thought that I don't measure up is gonna then create that feeling of inadequacy within me. That
Oh, wow.
feeling of inadequacy within me is gonna create an action. The action is gonna be, I'm gonna go and climb into bed and have some ice cream and Netflix and chill because I don't wanna work my business. Why would I? This person is awesome. I'm not, right? So when we're driving, right, our results from the negative emotions that we're allowing ourselves to feel because of the thoughts we are having, right? Then we're always gonna get that result that we're not moving forward. So now how do we create that confidence?
Yeah.
If I say, "You know what? I have a vision of what Julie is going to be. Julie is gonna impact the lives of thousands of women in the next couple of years. They're gonna build businesses that are gonna give them the financial freedom, that are gonna help them with time management, that are gonna allow them to make an impact." And I know and I start to look at, okay, of course, my first thought is like, "Who the heck do you think you are to think that you can do that?" Right? That's my brain. That's that reticular activator doing its job.
Yeah.
So then saying, "Oh, I'm thinking that. All right, well, I am going to try, because I don't have to have 1,000 women today, but I can have the one person who perhaps is listening to the radio today and is thinking, 'Oh, I've never heard this. I feel so much better,' right?" So then I am getting evidence that I showed up, that I did the thing, that I am working towards that, and I'm becoming better and moving in the direction of my dreams, in my direction of my mission, slowly every single day. And therefore, that's what begins to create that feeling of I can do it. But many of us spend time in the comparison or in the regret. I didn't do it before. Oh no, that didn't happen. Look at what is going on, or I was terrible at it. We need to give ourselves permission to be beginners, right?
Oh,
Because our
wow.
parents did when we were walking, right? When we were learning to walk and we fell, no one said, "Oh, look at you, terrible baby.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You can't
Yeah.
walk." No,
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, congratulations. Yay, you got up. Keep going." Right? Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
And that's what created that feeling of, "Okay, let me try again and let me get better at it. Try again, get better at it."
Oh, yeah. That's so good. And that was a great analogy because you're right. Our parents, when we were first born and we get to do our first with them and they congratulate they celebrate us in
Yeah.
doing that, you know. But it was so powerful that you said that we have to give ourselves permission to be beginners,
Mhm.
permission to go out and do that thing that you have never done before,
Absolutely.
or just kind of put yourself out there. I think maybe sometimes um our subconscious, we don't want to be judged. We don't want to, the negative things. Our mind always go to the worst case scenario,
Mhm.
right? What if this thing don't work? What if how am I going to look to other people, right?
Mhm.
And so this thing in this area of confidence, it becomes just overwhelming. And most of what you just said and outlined, that was me to a T. That was
Mm.
me to a T. I would see somebody, I would just go in my corner and stop doing what I'm doing because I see them doing it so much better and all of that. But I know there's some work behind
Yeah.
getting that confidence and getting to that place where it's not confidence. I don't believe it's the absence of fear. It's not necessarily
Mm-mm.
absence of fear, but it's the empowerment that you give yourself to go and do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
And so In your experience, have you ever seen the lack of confidence as the opposite? In other words, you just said about how we just want to go and stop doing it. We want to just go and pull our head, the cover over our heads. Have you ever seen it in the opposite, where people start now doing too much? So
Yeah.
you see somebody else do something, and now you start trying to do everything to try to catch up with them. Have you ever seen that,
I see
experienced
that a
that?
lot. I see that a lot with the entrepreneurs that I work with. And, again, and I'd like to talk about how some of the things that we had when we were young actually started to create some of the sabotaging behaviors that we use every day. For instance, I am a person that I was always told, be a good girl, set an example, be a good student, be number one. And by the way, that's not bad. Those are encouraging, high goal setting, but I became a high achiever, which in theory could be a good thing. But that high achiever is the one that at times will say, oh, you're not going to be perfect at it. So don't do it, girl. Don't do
Yeah.
it. You're going to fail. And it taught me, that high achiever taught me for a very long time, that failure was a bad thing. But failure is our friend, because
Mm,
when we fail and we fail fast, we learn the lesson that allows us to show up and do it again and learn from what we did wrong, do it right, and then feel like, oh, look at me, I got it, right? So that's the one thing that I see in a lot of places, that individuals are so afraid of the failure. I think that we also, and you alluded to this, Princess, I see a lot of individuals that also spend a lot of time thinking that they need to, oh, I don't want to do this because I don't know what people are going to think of me. Oh, I don't want to do this because my husband, my mother, my wife, my neighbor, the bus driver, they need
yeah,
me. They're the
yeah,
people pleasers,
yeah,
right? Those We have these behaviors and that are sabotaging us when we allow these things. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being a person that loves to please people.
yeah,
What is wrong is when it comes at a cost, at the price of your dreams.
yeah,
When we allow that to have wings, as opposed to saying it, hey, I know that I love my family. And if I am working on my business, if I am working on my personal development, if I'm working toward my dreams, it doesn't make me a bad person, because I still love my family. I'm still there for them, but I can prioritize myself. How many people, and I wonder from your listeners, right? How many of you are putting yourself first?
mm,
And we don't, because we feel that it's going to define us as, oh, selfish. It's going to define us as someone who is not there for others. And we also think that everybody is judging us. Oh, look at this person. Look at what they're doing. But the reality is that they're not even paying attention to us. Nine times out of 10, they're doing their own thing. And they don't even notice what we're doing. That because all of us like to listen to the "What is in it for me" radio station, right?
yes,
W Whiffam. I honestly, and by the way, it's funny because, my husband, he is one person that a lot of times he will be in the car and maybe we're at a gathering and he's like, "Oh, what do you think I said the wrong thing when I responded to that?" I'm like, I didn't even hear you say that. I don't even think that that's a concern for other people, right? But that's what really trips us up. And then we ruminate in these things. And when we ruminate, then we're really playing these things and don't allow us to have the clarity to move forward. So I want to empower people. Notice what you're thinking. Notice and then normalize it. By the way, even if you're thinking, oh, my girlfriend's so much better than I am, and look, she's got game and I don't. If that's what you're thinking, normalize it. I am telling myself this. And when you normalize it, then you're going to be able to create a next best step plan. Ooh, is it true? Maybe not, but I'm going to keep going. Revisit your dreams, revisit the vision of who you want to be, what you want to have, where you want to be. When you revisit that vision, it keeps you in the straight and narrow. It keeps you moving forward. And by the way, a lot of us think that moving forward, if I don't move 100 miles per minute, I am not good. But by the
Oh,
way,
wow.
if you're moving 1% better every day at the end of the year, you're going to be 365% better than before. So
Absolutely.
wouldn't you rather do that than go big, fail, and then give up? Because that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens, and that's the reality of it, right? You have dropped
Mhm.
so many gems on this broadcast today, and you just kind of reminded me that when we lack that confidence that we really need, it prevents us from showing up.
Yeah.
and and we have to remember that somebody else is
Mhm.
waiting on us to get our stuff together. They're waiting on us. There are people that are waiting on us to
Yes.
walk in our purpose so that we can solve their problem, right? Everybody has
100%.
a problem that needs to be, that they're looking for a solution.
Mhm.
And when we lack that confidence, it prevents us from showing up. So thank you
Yes.
so much today for giving us, for empowering us to
Mm.
continue to show up for our clients, show up for our family, show up for, the people that are called to us, because
Yeah.
this is a big um, thing that I think we don't talk enough about. And I'm so glad that you were here today
Mm.
to share about this thing called confidence, and how we can, some things that we can do to even strengthen that part of our life. Thank you so much, Julie, for
You're
being here.
welcome. No, thank you for the ability to have a conversation that I feel so passionate about. And, if anybody just walks away with one nugget and they feel like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? Then that's really what this is all about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so before we leave here, I want you to just tell the people where to follow you on social media, how to get in contact with you if they want to learn more.
Thank you so much. I am Julie DeLucca-Collins on all of the social media platforms. So if you Google Julie DeLucca-Collins, and DeLuca is two C's, you can find me also at goconfidentlycoaching.com. And that's the website. I have a lot of really fun resources for you there as well. I have a confidence mini course that if people want to check it out, it's free, and you can watch it at your leisure, and it's going to give you some really actionable tips as well. And of course, if you want to check out my book, you can find it on Amazon. The book is Confident You. The podcast is Casa de Confidence.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm going to head on over there and get me some of those free resources as well.
Well,
Thank you.
you've got it. And by the way, if anybody is listening and you find me on social, you send me a DM, just say book, and I will send you an e-copy of my book. So you don't have to buy it on Amazon. You can read the Kindle version.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much, and
You're
being such a
welcome.
blessing to the audience today. I look forward to talking with you again soon.
Me too, Princess. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And you are creating a blessing in the lives of so many different people. So thank you so much for the work that you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, hey, that is the last of this episode of the Restore My Soul podcast. You heard it from Julie that failure is our friend. So make sure that you remember that and go confidently in everything that God has called you to be. Remember to continue to follow me on all social media at Princess Mellens and my website at princessmellens.com. Remember that grief is a journey, but you don't have to walk it alone. And we will see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.
Thank you for joining another episode of Restore My Soul podcast. Be sure to listen and watch each week as we continue the conversation on how to bounce back from the setback of grief and loss and to become resilient so that you too can thrive in life. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any new episodes, and share this with as many people as possible so they can be encouraged in their emotional wellness journey. We invite you to follow Princess Mellens on all social media platforms and on the website at princessmellens.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.